Crossfire on 92.3 Nigeria.
Could You Be Loved? Bob Marley, beautiful song, legendary singer. Memory lives on. Children doing great. I mean, that's a classic right there, and I'm pretty sure that's soothing for you for the weather, right? Working and vibing to something like that, it's usually very nostalgic. My name is Ifeyemi Andrew. It's now 11 minutes past 8 this cold, rainy Wednesday morning. And, when I say 11th of June, it's just a day away from Democracy Day. And a lot of people have been talking, especially in Rivers State, if you go with what's on the news. Yep, a lot of people have been talking. A lot of people have been saying several things. And many people are hoping that with Democracy Day around the corner in Rivers State, the emergency rule might just be lifted. Well, we can't tell, we don't know, but that's the hope of many Port Harcourt residents. They're just hoping for the restoration of a democratic rule. Would that work anytime soon? I don't know. Well, we'd have to wait. But there are several stakeholders within the politics of the state that have a lot to say about the political crisis in Rivers State and how the call for the settlement is going. And that's why today we will be looking at the political situation in Rivers State as we approach Democracy Day celebration just a few hours away. And one of the fundamental questions would be, are we certain of political peace if we get political settlements? Would the expected return of the governor bring the necessary development, especially when you put in context the politics? So you look at it as, if we settle politically, would there be political peace? Because you can't tie development of the state to anything else. You have to include the political space of the state. That would then determine how well you are able to carry out your developmental plans. As it is, some people have said sins will never be forgiven. Tony Okocha is one of them who have said joining the APC or not would not result in forgiveness of whatever sin he feels the governor has committed. And he gave his reasons why. Beyond that, I had a conversation, if you remember, with the former Emoha Council chairman, Dr. Chidi Lloyd, who also said, well, there were certain conditions given to the governor. And in fact, for him, he says he hasn't seen anything that suggests peace moves by the suspended governor. There's the FCT minister who, although had sounded very yielding at the first instance, because remember there was the first media briefing where he sounded very yielding and had said, well, he doesn't have a problem. He doesn't have a problem. According to him, I don't have a problem. He came to me, the president wants peace. He came with some governors. I don't have any problem. I told him it is not about me. It's what he says. I'm trying to paraphrase the FCT minister. And that tone, people felt like the body language and the tone of his conversation and response to that question in that live chat was much more yielding and felt like, okay, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Only for another one to come where it became a whole different conversation. And he said things like, he's not aware, he has not seen him again, referring to the governor, since he came to his house. He's not heard anything about any peace moves and so on and so forth. There are many people that need to be settled. It's not just about me, the opposition political party, and so on and so forth. And people began to ask the question like, how does this involve the opposition political party? In fact, for some people, direct links would be the lawmakers and the FCT minister. Because for some, in the heat of all that was happening, the recurrent name and figure was the FCT minister. That was the recurrent figure. In as much as the lawmakers were involved, he was the recurrent figure because many pledged their loyalty to him. And so it turned out how it turned out. But now, some feel that even in the camp of the governor, the body language and the signs does not look like they're excited to mend fences, but rather just interested in the governor returning, and then we can say we are back. And that's how the story is now, ladies and gentlemen. Which then brings us to this fundamental question. Political settlement, does that mean political peace? Or would we ever even see? Because the FCT minister said sometimes when he goes back and looks at the videos, blood is what is flowing in his veins. So which means he's hinting that I don't think I can forget or forgive what has been done. Even though in other conversations he had said he does not have a problem. He's my political son and we are okay. He had said that before. He had then come back again to say something different. So there's a lot of mix and confusion about where do we stand, and the quiet that you get from the suspended governor makes it even much more interesting for people, because he's very quiet, not saying anything, nothing, not giving away anything. So we don't even know. The last we saw was the meeting he had with the president, and that was something that was also hinted by the APC in Rivers State, led by Tony Okocha, saying, well, being with the president and all of that stuff, it doesn't mean that all will be forgiven, all will be forgotten. The main question is, you now, as Democracy Day approaches, what do you make of this situation? Do you see a resolution in sight? Do you see political resolution in sight? Does it feel to you as a Rivers person that there are signs that, okay, this is all going to be sorted out and we're going to move on? Well, don't forget the budget, which was a huge part of this whole thing, has been presented and will definitely look like it's going to be passed. What then happens? Say the governor returns anytime soon. Are we going to see a good relationship with himself and the lawmakers and those who are loyal to the FCT minister? Because that is where the bone of contention lies. It's not just about saying political peace. Oh, if they settle, even if they settle, are we going to see, not just here, is it going to be seen that those who have said to be loyal to the FCT minister would be working amicably with the governor? These are some of the questions. And these are some of the questions we need to hear your thoughts on. 0817 923 0007. 0817 923 0002. Just tell us your name and then you go straight to the point.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yes, I'm Mr. Peter Gas calling from Ahoda.
Okay.
The fact still remains. Even if they are trying to organize one kangaroo agreement or the other, the governor is coming back. We need the governor back. When he comes back, the likes of Tony Okocha and Dr. Chief Lloyd can gather together and put their heads together and discuss with him. But if they don't want to follow his own rules, then they should back out. That's my stake.
Okay.
Fubara is coming back. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. It says if they would not work according to his own rules, which is where it lies. We settle politically, everybody is happy. If that happens, when that happens, if it happens, would we then see everyone working according to the governor, or is there something else that might be happening behind the scenes that we might not be privy to know? Because really, if you look at it, nobody has really told Rivers people exactly what this problem is about. Good morning.
Hello.
Yes.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
This is Akuku from Apokeche, the spokesman of Eche.
I don't know about spokesman of Echeo, but go on, Dakuku.
Okay. So let me say, Andrew. You see, sometimes when you have a problem, like me, if I have a problem with somebody and I want us to be reconciled, the body language of that person does not show reconciliation to me. I will be able to suspend that reconciliation. Look at the comment of Tony Okocha saying that APC, who are the APCs in Rivers State, Am I not APC in River State? Who gave in state chairman in this state? When the court, I was saying, it's not the state chairman. It was Andrew Chendo. This guy is the state chairman. Why is parading himself? No. And the weekend is not an APC man. And now the last of FCT minister with the House of Assembly, even if the governor is back, they cannot cooperate again because there is something between them. They have not made up their mind to work with the governor. I'm just telling you, unless anything now will become that the governor will be able to forget even for money, let them be collecting. A location coming, let the city minister with the people collect. That is when we see that they will be feeling comfortable. But that grudge is still in their mind. I just said it. But leave the governor alone. The governor don't have anything in mind being seen. His mind is clear to everybody. That's why I was working with him. And somebody
all right, Dakuku.
That's all about it. But this people cannot be work with him.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Senior Andrew.
Welcome.
Thank you. Gift calling from Goa.
All right, go on.
Yeah, God bless you, my brother. The truth of the matter is this. The legislative arm and the executive arm must come together. And people have been using those haters of his leader, the haters of this man, you don't even understand how the suspended governor came about in the first place. You are just hating someone who did whatever thing he needs to do as a dent for this man to emerge as a governor. Now you are the one that is saying I'm working with him. How come you have not met with the people that he told you? You've been calling him emperor and all the rest. Now he's telling you, there's no need of you coming to me alone. Go and meet with the critical stakeholders. And who are these critical stakeholders? Just like what Honorable Dr. Shidiloy talked about, the chairman MOA. He said something so vital and important. You suspended their funds. You seized it, in fact, for 3 months, or perhaps 4 months or 5 months, if I'm not mistaken. These were the things that led to Supreme Court giving you that name, that tag, that is forever, as long as it is Supreme Court. Tyrant and all the rest. Now you have not met with these very persons. You are thinking now, if I meet with FCT minister and I meet with Mr. President, that's all. That is arrogance as far as I'm concerned. Why not meet with the people that you dealt with politically? You seize their funds when you don't have the power, the right to do that. You did these things. And now you're not talking with these persons and you want to come back. Which of the peace? Peace of the graveyard? Why not meet with them and sort out those things? Please, it was because of this that it happened, but let's work together as a team. You're not bigger than them. They are not bigger than you because it is arms of government.
All right.
Somebody is representing what you're representing.
All right, Gift. Thank you very much. Well, I think what you said, yes, there's sense in what you're saying as well. Isn't it also possible that maybe perhaps could we see that after the governor returns, then he could now call for a meeting with these other people to say, okay, let's have a meeting and let's discuss after he's returned? Or are we saying that he has to see these people before he would be allowed to come back to office? That would be highly not true, if you ask me. But is it possible that if he returns, then he would want to now negotiate peace and discuss with these individuals? Well, after the commercial, we'll take more of your calls and get your thoughts.
For more talk,
All right, let's get back to the phone lines quickly. My name is Ifeami Andrew, and let's hear your thoughts. Some of you already saying what you think about the situation as we approach Democracy Day, what you think about the political stalemate in Rivers State and the emergency rule, the return of the governor, what that would mean for the parties involved. 0817-923-0007 or 0817-923-0002. Will a political settlement mean political peace? Would that mean that those who are seen as loyalists of the FCT minister, if the governor returns, when the governor returns, will they be working with him? Or is it still going to be what was an issue even before the emergency rule, way before now, where some people publicly, state where their allegiance lie, and reports had it that it was difficult for some of these individuals to work according to the directive of the governor. Now, would that change? Let's find out what you think. Whether political settlement will mean political peace. Will they still be able to work together amicably? JJ from Rumigbo, good morning.
Yeah, Andrew, good morning this morning and this rainy morning. Andrew, let's look at the world level. Let's say JJ commit an offense, arrested by the police and put into prison or put into, how will I put it now, house arrest for a time. Why did they keep me in that house arrest? To pay for that time, for that crime I committed, right? Now, people are saying, go and settle with this, go and settle with that. How is it possible? Where would the settlement meeting hold and all those? It's showing that it's like the National Assembly and the presidency are more interested, like people have said, power grab than any other thing. I expected that a week or maybe some days after the state of emergency has been declared, that a committee would have been set up by the president to see how to reconcile the warring party and think of the gray areas. But we have not heard anything about that. All we have heard is, he came to my house with two governors. Meanwhile, I don't know what the president also means by asking the FCT minister to come and make peace. Because if it is coming to make peace, by my understanding, would have been that the governor, as at when this crisis started, called the FCT minister his father. And towards the end of the crisis, the FCT minister has also acknowledged that this is my son. I don't have any problem with him. So what is there? Call your son and call your supporters and see how to handle things. But when your coach are coming now to say, problem is, I don't understand at all. So I think that the president needs to set up a high-level committee so that they can settle this whole matter before the time comes. But what do I know?
Okay, JJ.
So for me, you're saying something?
Yep, I'm saying I think you're done with the contribution.
No wahala.
All right, then. In Rumokuta, Chima.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Ifeami.
Good morning.
Mr. Ifeami, I will start from if you have seen the book, That Was a Country. If you read that book, practically, you will understand that one of the problems we are having in this nation is the hastiness of independence. And if you come down the memory lane, you will see that all the things that we are enjoying now, that are collapsing, that are doing one thing or the other concerning our development, came through military rule. So what does it actually mean? That even the democracy we are even thinking of enjoying now also came under hastiness also. Now those that are calling for the restatement of the suspended governor, what is the foundation of fundamental thing that he has put to place concerning his removal? I have exclaimed it here before. Do you not think it is like a pause? If you bring him back, now those that are being offended will still come back with their fight and their struggle. Because you cannot tell me that you stopped something and at the time you let it go. The wound will start dripping blood. If the governor doesn't want to be sincere to himself,
Does that not mean that he is not liable or is not supposed to hold any public position? Because democracy is for the people, and you are there to serve the people, and you offended the people. So as I said in the morning, that you sinned against humanity by starving people of their source of livelihood. Go back to those people and apologize. Then what Tony Okocha actually said, Ifemi, will you agree with me that political parties are not supposed to be for charlatans? Because that is a place whereby we choose our leaders. So those that want to come into political parties should be cultured in good manner. You won't come to a party and you begin to put a job party in the party, begin to argue for leadership, not as the survivor did in PDP, trying to divide the party, carrying the party to one place or the other. So before you come into politics, actually, the one we're talking about is that positions are our problem. Why would you not start to scrutinize those that want to come in? So Tony Okocha is actually right in what he's saying. It's not about not being forgiven or not. Jesus Christ, of course, actually said it. Those that should be forgiven are those that will ask for forgiveness. So go and ask. And you,
all right, Chima, thank you. Very interesting, the things you're saying. It's just that sometimes I think in this country, when we don't like a thing or a person, there's how we interpret things, and it's very interesting. But let me also remind us that there are many workers that were being owed salaries. Pensioners are being owed in this country. So wouldn't you also describe that as a sin against humanity? And would you then go back to all those leaders, including the one you support, to say you have sinned against humanity and you should beg for forgiveness? Because, I mean, do you know how many pensioners are being owed, not being paid? People were not promoted for a while, and people that even got promoted, areas were owed. So who are we going to go tell the people who were in charge at the time to say you sinned against humanity? All right, see, sometimes I know we don't like certain leaders, or you have who you support, but then it doesn't mean that you try to get sentimental and try to whip up sentiments with the things you say. Say what it is. Where people have said that their salaries were withheld, yes, and if they feel aggrieved, there are channels to go for it. But to try and whip up sentiments and make certain comments that would appear as derogatory is not welcomed. Because if you want to go that route, the leader you support has the same problem. I've not heard you say similar things towards him. Or I've not even heard you speak about those people that during his time perhaps were also owed, or were not paid, or were seized, or were arrested, or properties were demolished under one guise or the other. So let's also try and just, handle these things maturely and with one thing and one thing only, the interest of the people from, very important, from a very fair constitutional standpoint. And if you say you don't want to go with the constitution, but you want to look at it from a moral standpoint, then look at where you are coming from before you judge where you are going to. Justice, Mudia guy is on the line. Good morning, Justice.
My friend Andrew, good morning.
Yeah.
Is there any way that here is not Mudia?
Everywhere. Same thing here. Go on.
Okay, yes. On the question you asked, if political settlement we mean political peace. I think in a nation like Nigeria that practices multi-party system, here we have the APC, the PDP, the Labour Party, NRC, and many of them. There cannot be political peace as to see. Because here in Nigeria, we have the APC in power. We have the PDP as opposition. One of the purposes of the opposition is to constructively criticize the government in power, to threaten them. Now, where you see the APC talking, you see PDP counter, you see Labour Party counter, SDP counter. So you cannot say there is political peace as to say. So it is unfair to use that acronym, political peace, to determine the case of political situation in River State. I don't know if you're getting me. So, hello, Andrew.
Yep, I'm listening to you.
Okay, now, in the case of River State, we don't need to wait for political peace for the governor to be reinstated or for the president to leave the state of emergency, because there must always be counter and disagreement between the parties here in the state. So I am joining well-meaning Nigerians to ask the president that as we are celebrating Democracy Day, Nigeria has been a democratic nation. It will not be fair that a state under a nation that is practicing democracy is under emergency rule. and a duly elected governor.
All right, Justice. Unfortunately,
we are celebrating democracy.
all right, let's quickly go to Alakaya because we're already running out of time. Susie, quickly, let's hear you. We still have Mufasa on the line, so please make it quick.
Okay, there is still next between the political peace and whatever democracy or whatsoever we are talking about. I also agree that the political arrangement and then the peace in the state will also hobnob in both of them. But to the extent that we have remained the way we are, if you look at our mindset and the way we talk, you still discover that there is still this disconnection in us agreeing on what's supposed to be the common goal for the greater good of the people. So to this extent, I want to say that even before the president declared the state of emergency, yes, he knew that democracy day would definitely come. But if we are talking about, like you mentioned something, the earlier position, what the people from the angle of the sustainable governor is talking about is statement. And it's as if whenever thing is reinstated, people will use that as a background to undo other people. And we are also on this side saying that 6 months it was what the president mentioned. So you cannot be going back and forth and asking the president who have declared the emergency for 6 months and only for 3 months you are telling him to reinstate the governor. So to that extent, to people like me, it would be unfair for anybody to even ask for that particular position. So I want to say that whatever we're going to do, we have tested this water and we are here today. It's burning our body. We are bearing the brunt. Let it remain the way it is.
All right. Thank you, Susie. We get the point. Mufasa, quickly from NTA Road.
Well, Andrew, I want to say that nobody is asking or begging the president to respect the constitution of this country. Democracy entails respect for the constitution and rule of law. It is a demand. We are demanding, I personally am demanding that the right thing should be done in Rivers State. It's not something that you need to beg. We cannot be talking about democracy without the respect for the ground of this country. And democracy is a government of the majority, not a government of the few. And the government should go begging. The government, they should have said the government should start going begging their wives. What are we not saying? If they want to impeach the government, they should come up with verifiable, proof and all of that. And it respects the process. And if you feel you have what it takes to impeach a governor, go ahead and do it. Nobody is begging anybody. The right thing should be done. Thank you.
All right, Mufasa, thank you very much. And that's the note upon which we wrap things up this morning on the Morning Crossfire. I'll see if I can take a few comments on Facebook. The only peace in Rivers State is for the governor to go and make a good peace with one made him with, you mean with the FCT Minister Chiwendu Onyegam. Always the Rivers State High Court gave an order to recognize Oko Jumbo and pass the budget. Is that one not... Oh, God, that moved way too fast. Good morning. Language of the suspended governor shows that he's not ready for reconciliation. For me, he's being corny with his approach. Nadum, that's from you. This person says, FCT minister wants his whole matter to end today. He has the powers. These men are loyal to him. For him to tell the governor to go and meet this and that person is just to belittle the governor. And that is the truth. Ifeanyi Chukwunwodo, you sent in that message. This person says, the whole situation is confusing. Intervention of the president has worsened the situation. The governor has a mandate to complete or find a way and impeach him so that we can all rest. Sir Ken, that one came in from you. Remember, the jackpot from One Play every Friday. You qualify for the jackpot based on how you play during the week. So don't miss it. Friday's around the corner and you can be a part of that jackpot. My name is Ifeanyi Andrew. Jude is coming in with Hello Port Harcourt after the break.
After this.